Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first impressions video of the newly released Hearts of Iron 4. Now, according to the Wikipedia page, Hearts of Iron 4 is a war strategy video game developed and published by Paradox Interactive. It is a sequel to Hearts of Iron 3 and part of the Hearts of Iron series of grand strategy games focusing on World War II. Now, I played Hearts of Iron 3. I also played Darkest Hour, a Hearts of Iron game. And I put about 2 hours into this one earlier today. So this is, I don't know how many hours constitutes a first impression video. But from the 2 hours that I played, I do like what I see. I went through the limited, oh, I didn't even know I had these ships over here. I went through their somewhat limited basic tutorial. I mean, it's a basic tutorial, so I mean, all tutorials are limited. Okay, it looks like a boat, but it's actually a mountain. So, a lot of things have changed in this game compared to the last game. Some of them good, some of them bad. It seems like a lot of things have been simplified. I don't know where to start. We can start with recruitment and things like that. Now, recruitment is, the way it works is that you have divisions. And you can, one thing that I like is you can design your own division. And that adds a lot of, well, customability to the game. It also adds a lot more depth to the game as well. So that's something that's very nice. And then you obviously, this would be added to one of your divisions. These are the default ones that come with at least Italy, because I just played with Italy. I was just screwing around for a little bit, just working on things and learning the game a little bit, but you have these divisions that are here. Now, you click, this is like the basic infantry division, I would assume. So you select that, and as you can see, I already have a whole bunch of divisions, but you select that, and then it obviously will have this it'll like train a division. And then you select the location for it to be deployed. And obviously, anywhere with the green lines is somewhere it can be deployed, and red is not. So let's say I wanted it deployed to Rome, straight to Rome. Okay, I guess it'd be Latium. So that's where it'll be deployed. Now, if you look right here, current number of the series of deployment in the line. So this is going to be, once this unit is done training, it will be the first of an infinite number of units that I'm going to be training. And yep, okay, I did that correctly. I can make however many I want, or I can just set it to be infinite. Now, you can train anything you want, and the way training works, it works differently. I mean, you still need, like, IC is different in this game, industrial capacity. Now, you need to make sure that your units and your production have all of their equipment that is needed, and then it will start the training. So they have the equipment, and then you'll start the training of the men. Now, how you get your equipment is you go to production, and you start making equipment, and you use your different military factories, and your different military factories are for the ground things and planes, and naval dockyards are for building ships. So it's very interesting because infantry equipment 1, that's the equipment that's needed for my basic infantry. So I build enough of those, and then once they stockpile enough of them, then they'll start making my infantry. And same thing goes with support equipment. This certain number of support equipment is needed for each division. And you have light tanks, like the actual vehicles will be made, and trucks will be made, and planes, and artillery pieces and everything. So that's how that works. And then Navy, you just choose a ship to build. So that's great how that's done. It seems like it's a little bit simplified. I mean, it's I don't know if it's simplified, but it's different, and I like the way they did it. It seems pretty good. And you can, like, obviously right here, you can choose how many factories are being dedicated to producing infantry equipment 1, support equipment light tank 1. Like for this, I have 3 on each of these, and these I have a whole bunch of shipyards. And in order to build more factories and shipyards, you go over to construction. and here you get to choose the different things to construct. For me, I just put a whole bunch of stuff, like factories and roads and stuff. So obviously you can build infrastructure, which is obviously roads. You can build an air base, self-explanatory, anti-air, radar station, and things like that. You can build more military factories in different locations. You can build more civilian factories. These are the civilian factories. They're the ones that are used for building military factories and naval dockyards and all that stuff. And you can build the different naval bases and forts and things, and you can convert your factories to either side, which is very cool. Now, one thing that's different about trade is that trade uses civilian goods. So you have to use your civilian factories to trade. Now, one thing that I found weird about trade is that at least only the 2 hours that I did, you can, it seems like no matter what, they'll say yes. Whatever country will say yes, no matter what, what am I trying to say? No matter what the opinion of the other country is, they'll always say yes. At least that's what it seemed like. I could be wrong. I don't know what it's like to play as other countries, maybe smaller countries that don't have a lot of influence, but Italy seems like it might have a lot of influence. Diplomacy hasn't really changed a whole heck of a lot. I don't think, at least. You can still do the general things. Now, one of the things that I'm doing as Italy is trying to take over Yugoslavia. So when I try to take over Yugoslavia, I had to come up with a justification for my war goal, and I chose a war goal, and then now I'm putting effort into justifying it, and the progress is that. So that's a little bit hard to explain, but research, moving on at least, research is different. Here's your ground, your army here, and it's got a whole bunch of different things, different tech to research. You got your armor here. It's split off, and you can research individual pieces of, like, individual variations of the tank. Like, this is a light tank with tank destroyer, and I don't know what that is. Self-propelled artillery, and that's anti-air. And this is artillery itself. And then here you have doctrine, which I haven't gotten into yet. And then you have naval, which is just the ships. And then you have naval doctrine, airplanes, and then the airplane doctrine, engineering, and then you have industry. So there's a lot less, I guess, tech trees in this than there were in Hearts of Iron 3 and Darkest Hour, but like you see, you have like less tech guys. And that's not true, because you only had 5, or no, the big, like the United States, which is the largest, had only had 5. So that's how that works. Now, one of the things that I really did not like was combat or war. That was really different to me, and I didn't like it. Maybe I just don't know enough about it. I never actually got fully into the DLCs and the expansions for Hearts of Iron 3, where you can make up battle plans, and then it's kind of like automated. So I'm pretty sure that's how this works. And what the hell's that little dot? Oh well, whatever. Because that was kind of what was happening when I was at war with Ethiopia, and excuse me, and like I would be attacking a certain place and I'd be losing the battle, so okay, I gotta retreat my men, just let them sit there, regroup and things like that. But for some reason, they would just start attacking again, and I had to constantly tell them to stop and stop. There you go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop. Like they just would not listen to me, and that's what was very annoying. Is that I think because they were automated and they were given orders, they were trying to carry out those orders, even though I was telling them to stop. They were going and doing it anyway because they were supposed to carry out their orders. So that's something that I didn't really like. Now obviously I'm pretty sure I can go about just not using the automated battle plan system, and I can just do that on my own. I haven't really gotten into naval warfare at all. Planes are a little bit different, and I like the way they work. Obviously, I can't really demonstrate. There's no mini map down here, and I really don't like that. I like having a mini map, so I don't have to zoom out or like go across, like zoom out and go across. You know what I mean? Just clicking and getting to it. So that's something that I don't like, just not having a mini map. Oh well, Nationalist Spain's gonna lose. So that's like honestly really it. Oh, you have all these national focuses actually, which is nice. Like I only started out with 4 research slots, and according to the tutorial, it gave me a suggested focus tree. So I went down the war, the industrial effort 2, and then extra research slot. So that was nice. And then now I'm going down here, and that's how I got Yugoslavia. And then I used the national focus to get Albania, to like annex them or put them under my control. But I've heard people say that like they're I don't know, it's probably not the right word to use, but dumbing it down, making it simpler. And honestly, I can see that happening, but I also see it as a good thing because I was terrible at the other games, and I put like 70 hours into Hearts of Iron 3, and I was still god awful at it. So this makes it a little bit better, in my opinion, a little bit more enjoyable for me, because I'm not so great at super heavy strategy games like this, but I love to play them, and I don't want it to be too dumbed down though. So in my first impression is I give it a high rating. For the 2 hours that I played, is this mine? No, it's Bulgaria. For the 2 hours that I played, I would give it an 8 out of 10, just for those 2 hours, because I haven't gotten fully into it, and I haven't really gotten much practice with the war and things like that. Also, one of the first things I wanted to say is that Paradox, one of the things that they excel at is their soundtracks. Outstanding. Just the best games soundtracks in the entire world. Crusader Kings, Victoria, EU, other Hearts of Iron games, just outstanding soundtracks. And this is another game that has an outstanding soundtrack, and I love it. And I'm so happy with the soundtrack. But like I said, 8 out of 10. For the soundtrack, I give a 7 billion out of 10. And I'm looking forward to learning more about this game, playing it more. But like I said, just my first 2 hours, first impressions, and that's what I got, an 8 out of 10. And I'm very happy with the game. Definitely worth the $40 that I paid for it. I pre-ordered it the day before, and then unfortunately I didn't have any time to play it on the release date. But I was playing it, so it's nice. Also, where do I find this? Okay, yeah, laws and government stuff. You use political power to hire or to add political advisors that have different benefits. Like this guy, he is a captain of industry. Excuse me. Civilian factory construction speed plus 10%. In infrastructure, refinery construction speed plus 10%. So because I'm making a bunch of these factories, civilian factories, and then also infrastructure and roads, it definitely helps out a lot with the speed and things like that. So it's the little things there that help out too, and you can get military advisors and research, and people for research and design. So that's also very nice. That's a nice way of doing it. It's a little bit, instead of just having all of them at once like in the last game, you have to use your political power, which is pretty cool. But that was my first impression, like I said, about 800,000 times. Good game, excited to get more into it, and that's it. I mean, I'm a fan of Hearts of Iron. Like I said, I played Darkest Hour, and I played Hearts of Iron 3. I got into the series pretty late, so I don't really know much about the other games before Darkest Hour, but I'm looking forward to playing this game and learning about it more, and putting lots of hours into it. those 2 hours that I played flew by. They felt like 20 minutes. It was so much fun. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any suggestions and any tips to give to me as I continue and learn to play this game are much appreciated. Any kinds of wiki guides or anything like that, just I guess put a link in the description, or not the description, god damn it, you can't put links in my descriptions. Put links in the comments, and we'll go from there. Hopefully I can learn this, and hell, if anyone really wants to play with me, I'm more than willing to. So, thanks everyone. Ta-ta.